So here we are in Power BI already, and this is what we built today. The measures are all already in the pbix because I wanted you to focus on the building. Today I will show you how to build 11 easy KPI charts with line charts. It is pretty easy, so also beginners can do it. The pbix file you need for this can be found on my GitHub, and the link will be in the show notes. So let's jump into Power BI and I will show you how it works. So here we are in Power BI already, and this is what we built today. The measures are all already in the pbix because I wanted you to focus on the building. Anyway, I will explain you the measures. And there are two pages, one with the overview of all the line charts we will build and the starter page. So we will go to the starter page and yeah, we will start. So first we will drag in the card new, because the card new will be the upper part. As the user can choose later between profit and sales, the sum selected measure is already doing this because it's a switch. And it asks for the selected value in the table with the profit sales type. And if this type is a profit, it gives back the sum of the profit. And if it is sales, it gives back the sum of the sales. So this measure is already doing the selection for us, and we will drag it in now. So here you can already see the callout value. Then we go to reference label, choose the sum of the selected measures and put in the last year's selected measure. So this is the measure or the sales or the profit of first year. And we will add the year-over-year change of this selected measure. So this is the percentage how it changed. So now you can go back to the callout values, turn off the value, turn off the label, go to layout and set this to 0. So you will already see you only have this. Then you go to the reference labels, click all, go to the layout, change these to columns, then you already can see here. Then we go back to the reference label, select the sum selected measure, select the label with the past year, go to the title, turn off the title, turn off the value and put this to 20. Then we add a detail, and the detail is the reference label text. So this is this one, and this is just saying it's last year. We leave that by 12, and for the value we change the display units to none and to null decimals. So you can already see we have done this. Then we go to the year-over-year change. The title we will turn off, turn on the value, put it to 16. The display units are none, the value decimals are 2. Then you turn off the detail, and here we need the detail description of this value, the detail text in percentage. So here you can see that it says 2024 versus 2023. We will give it an italic. And we want to have the conditional formatting, which I have written before. And this conditional formatting says if the year-over-year change is bigger than 0, it should be green. Oh, this was the wrong one. So you go to the value and do the same here. And we will make that bold. Or let's go for a semi-bold. So now you can see already also this. Then you go back and go here to all. Go to the divider, set the transparency to 100, turn off the background, and you can see this already looks much like our middle part. For the layout, for the spacing, you set this to 0, so the outer padding. We leave it to left and we will align it on top. So now we go to the general, turn on the title of this card. And for the title, I have also written a conditional formatting to see if it is the profit or if it is sales. We will change the font to Sigo UI and we will put it to, let's say, 20. Go to a semi-bold, turn on the background and change the font color to white. Then we have to go to the card settings and also turn off here the background and the border. And we will change the reference label for the past year, the value to bold, and to make it a little bit smaller. So let's say we go with 18 for both of them. Or let's keep it like that. So you can see the upper part is already finished now, and we will put in the lower part. The lower part will be a line chart. You can put it here. And for the line chart, you need the months, the 1 character ones, and you need the selected measure. So you can already see this is the line chart. Then we go to the settings. We will turn off the grid lines, go to the x-axis and turn off the title, go to the y-axis and turn off also the title. Then we go to the line. We will set the width to 2, so it's a little bit better now. And we put the interpolation type to smooth, so the line also looks nice. So go to general and put off the title. So here you can already see our first line. As a second line, we will drag in the selected measure of the past year. Go to the settings, turn off the legend, go to the lines and choose the past year and give it a gray. So we are nearly finished with the first card. The thing we have to do or want to do now is to add the minimum and the maximum data label here. And for this, there are written 2 measures, one for the max line and one for the min line. This is the min point. I have written a measure that summarizes the region sales data table with the month, and it adds the sum of the selected measure. Then it is looking for the minimum, and in the end it says if the sum of the sales or the profit, so the selected measure is the minimum, it will give back the sum of the selected measure, and otherwise it will be a blank. So this will our minimum point. So we will drag this in here also. And we have a maximum point. This is doing the same initially, but it is looking for the maximum. And we also drag this in here. Then we go to the settings, go to the lines, turn on the markers for the max point, go to 4, give it a color green, do the same for the minimum point, turn it on, go with the green and set this to 4. For the past year, we will turn this off. Then we go to the data labels, turn them on, choose the max point, go to the value, and we will say the display units are 1000 and the decimals are 0. The same we will do for the min point. So display units thousands, value decimals 0. And for the other series, we will turn them off. So we will go to the max point, go to the position and put it above. And the min point we will put under. So now this looks pretty good, I would say, and your first card is finished. So as we already did a lot of work, you can copy this now. So you drag a window over it, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and you copy it over. For the next version, we want to have the area shaded below the line. So you click on the line chart, go to the shade area, put it on, and you can already see it is here. The presetting is that the color will match the line, and as I like it is, we will keep it. So now we will copy the first version again, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, drag it over here. And instead of the shaded area, I want to have 2 bars that mark the period with the maximum and minimum sale. For this, I have also written a measure. The measure is here. It's the max and the min bar line chart, and the measure is doing nearly the same like the other 2 measures before. It's looking for the maximum and the minimum in the selected measure, but instead giving back the max or the min value, it is always giving back the max point if the sum of the selected measure in the chart is the minimum or the maximum. So we will change this type to a clustered column chart with a line. We will drag this to the lines and this also, and these two also. Then you can see we are back to this, and now we will drag in the bars. And the bars were here. So now you can already see the bars. We will go to the settings, to the columns, put the color to a light gray, and we will turn off the data labels for the bars. So we choose the bars and turn them off. So here we are already done with the third version, and you can see we did not have to do many changes. So let's drag a window over the first. You know it already. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, drag it here. And now I want to show in this line the average of the actual year's sales, which is pretty easy. You do not have to write a measure for it. Power BI will do that for you itself. So you go to the chart, go to the visualizations, click the analytics tab, and here you go with the average line. You will say add a line. You can give it a name. I will just type in average. Then you can select which measure it should choose. We will take the selected measure as we want to have the actuals. You can choose the line color. You can choose the line style, but we go with the dash. Change the width to 2, and we want to have a data label. So we will turn it on. Go to the data label, choose both, so I can see the name and the value. Go to under and display the units in thousands, as the other two data labels are also in thousands, and put the decimals to 0. So here you can see already our third version is finished within nearly no time. And after having now the average line, we will copy this again. And we will put in the minimum and the max line for the current year. So you click here, go to the analytics tab, and here is also a line for the minimum. So add line, rename this to minimum. Choose the measure, it's the selected measure. Put this to 2, choose the color, turn on the data labels, click to under, choose both, and also choose the color. For the display units, we will go to the thousands and choose 0. Then you have the minimum line. The same you can do now with the maximum line. So you go to the max, go to add line, rename it to max. Choose the measure again, choose the color, set this to 2, go to the data labels, turn them on. Let's say above, go to both 2000s and set this to 0. And here you can see you have already the data label and the 2 lines in your chart. So the next thing I will show you is how you can change this easily to the past year values. So you copy this, click here, go to the analytics tab, go to the minimum line. You only have to change this measure, and we will change the color to a gray, and we will change this to make it easier to recognize. We will add past year, and the same we will do now for the maximum. So you go to the maximum, rename this to past year max, choose the past year measure, go to the line and choose a gray. And the same we will also do with the data label, I think. And also for the minimum line data label, we want to set it to a gray. So here you go, and with a few clicks you have changed it now. Now we will copy this again, and we will set it to the average of the last year. It is as easy as it was here. So click here, go to the average line, adapt the name, choose the other series and change the colors of these two, so also the data label. So now you can see with few clicks we are already here, but now we also want to add some colors. So we will copy this to make it easier for the user to recognize the values above. And we will add error bars that will make this area gray. So for this we need to add error bars. The upper bound will be the average, but you have to calculate it as you need it as a measure. And the average is this, the average line. So for the average line, I am again building this table, putting in the selected measure, and then I say, please calculate the average of these measures and give it back, because this will be my upper bound for this. And for the lower bound, I just added a 0, which is just saying the lower bound is 0. This enables me to shade this area. Select this visual, go to the Analytics tab and add error bars. You have to turn them on. This is the series it refers to. You can keep the selected measure. The upper bound, as said, will be the average, as we want to start the line on the average, and the lower bound will be the 0. So you go for the 0 here. And you can already see that there happened something, but we do not like that. So we will turn off the bars and we will turn on the error band, which is adding the color. Then we will turn off the match series as we want to have it in a gray. And we will put this to gray. And now you can already see that you have here a colored area for all the values under the average. The same I will show you now for the maximum of the past years. So we will copy this. To shade this area, I have also added two measures. One time the max line past year, and the max line past year is also creating this table. It's checking for the maximum and it says give back the maximum. The same I have done for the minimum, because the minimum will be the lower bound. And these two we will put in now into the error bars. So we go to the Analytics tab, enable the error bars. The upper bound will be the max past year, and the lower bound the min past year. Then we will turn off the bars again as we do not like them. Turn on the error band, turn these off and change the color. So you can see you have already a shaded area for the last year now, which is really awesome with a few clicks. And the next thing we will do is we will copy this. And I will show you how you can just fill the error between the average line and the actual values. I have also written a measure for the upper bound, and the upper bound for the average is checking in the table if the average is bigger or the sum of the selected measure, and it gives back the maximum. So this will be our upper bound. So let's click here, go here, enable the error bars, and the upper bound will be the average and the lower bound will be the average itself, so the average line. Turn off the bars and turn on the error band, and like you did before, change the color. So now you can see this area is filled and the rest is not. And then I show you one last option. For this last option, we will copy this. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V the last time. Put it over here. Remove the past year. To show these, there are written two measures. One time the upper bound of the line chart. So the upper bound is again checking if the profit this year is bigger the profit last year. It gives the maximum, and the same is also done for the lower bound of this measure. And the second measure is the lower bound for this measure, so it is going for the minimum of these two. And here we will put in the upper bound, for the line chart, and here we will put in the lower bound for the line chart. We will turn off the markers again, go to the arrow band, turn this off and change the color again. And here you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to leave a like. And I hope you can also apply these awesome KPI line charts to your own work. So stay tuned for the next video. Hope to see you on the channel soon and wish you a great day now. Bye bye.